Swerve up on that scene, hop out engine looking clean.
Alright, what's up guys, Poison here, and I'm back, and today we're playing a random Android game. Today we are playing a music rhythm game. Real quick, I'm just a huge fan of music rhythm games. I don't know why. A lot of fun to play. This is like an anime-based one. But, yeah. Let's see, what do I got? I've got C rank. Let's see if we get an A or an F rank for flawless or whatever. You know, playing games like this has made me want to do like a new type of thing where I actually just actually I'm gonna restart that. That's horrible. Makes me want to play a bunch of games, like a bunch of different music rhythm games or a bunch of like shooter games or whatever in the same genre, and make like one huge compilation video. I feel it'd be a lot of fun to do. They'd be pretty long, maybe like 30 minutes, but once again, I still think it'd be fun to do. Just depends on how people receive, you know, how the reception would be of these videos, if they'd even be worth it. You know, it's like a bunch of like MOBA games that could be played here on the channel or whatever. I don't know, like I'm saying, just an idea I'm thinking of. We're gonna fail here for a part. We're not gonna get a flawless here at all. Let's do one more retry. Give me 1 second, guys, sorry. I had headphones in, took them out, not like for the game. I had headphones in because I'm listening to some Xbox videos right now on YouTube, or listening to some YouTube videos on my Xbox, so I plugged my headset directly into my controller to listen. That's honestly what I love about the new systems out, like PS4 and Xbox. You could directly plug your headphone in, and you instantly have access. You don't have to have headphones connected to the TV, so that's really awesome. Kind of off topic, but yeah, just want to get that off my chest real quick. So today's video is more talking about what work was like over the weekend. So Sunday there was a game at Levi's. It was the Cowboys versus the 49ers. And man, this event was pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. This event was a lot of fun. More than the usual games that happen at Levi. So this time I was still dealing with alumni players like I always do since the beginning of the season. So that's awesome. You know, basically it's just me being on a cart and just dealing with all, not dealing in a bad way, but you know, working with like a bunch of old alumni, and I had to transport them around and escort them. So today, or on Sunday, I had to escort Charles Haley? I believe it was Charles Haley, from the Dallas Cowboys, former player, and I just gotta say, he was by far one of the coolest alumni players I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. He was super awesome. Like, I haven't had a negative interaction with an alumni player, but this guy was just like, to put it bluntly, he gave no Fs. He was like, he pretty much was the devil on my shoulder this whole day, and he was like super awesome. So, I got told, you know, Sunday morning, I'm like, hey, go here, you know, and you're going to deal with the one person you normally deal with. You're going to be dealing with Shelby. You know, as soon as she comes up, she'll tell you what to do. I'm like, all right, sure, you know, pretty much like always, just, you know, whatever Shelby or Carrie wants me to do, I do. So, I see Shelby, and I see Carrie. They were both in the parking lot near the center I usually wait for them at. They didn't tell me anything. They just walked by. Or, Carrie was in the parking lot waiting for people. This is horrible. And Shelby walked by from the parking lot. She went into the building. And then from there, I didn't see her. It took like 30 minutes. Then all of a sudden, one of the, I don't know what these guys are at Levi. They're like police officers. They're like security. I don't know. Particularly, I don't know what they are, but they're like the main people who are like guards at the door, but they don't work for a security company. They work directly for Levi. They may be like police officers who work like special doors and stuff. You know, this door is where all the players, like past and present players, come in. So, you know, maybe he's a cop. I'm not really sure. I didn't ask. He comes up to me and he's like, hey, I need you to deliver this guy. I'm like, you know, I told him like, oh, unfortunately I had to wait for someone. He's like, who are you waiting for? And I told him, oh, I'm waiting for Shelby. I had to deal with the alumni players. He's like, all right, this is an alumni. This is part of Shelby's crew. Take him wherever he needs to go. I'm like, you know, at first I was hesitant, but I'm like, all right, you know, I'm pretty much just going to drop this guy off and come back, you know, whatever. But then, you know, he's like, here, any problems occur, you know, just, he's like, he gave me his number. He's like, here, any problems arise, call me and I'll call you and we'll tell you what's going on. And he's like, if Shelby comes by looking for you, I'll tell her where you are. And I didn't know this is what I would be doing, because later on I spoke to Cameron, who was the main person with the carts and the alumni. So he was like the main person who told me, like, you know, what I usually do. There's like a lot of people who tell me what to do there at Levi, especially with alumni players. But the guy who, like, probably the cop guy, his name is Andy. He's like, look, you know, this is part of Shelby's crew, you know, he's alumni, you just take him wherever you need to go. So I'm like, alright. So Charles pulls up his smartphone, or let's call him Mr. Haley, I'm sorry, it's like, it just feels weird calling him Charles. He pulls out a smartphone, he's like, look, I need to go here. I'm like, so he needs to go to Blue Lot 1. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know where the hell Blue Lot 1 is. So I look at his map, I'm like, okay, so there's Green Lot, you know, there's Red Lot, so Blue Lot 1, and then he's like, it's across the street. I'm like, oh shit, you know, we're not supposed to take the golf carts on main roads. But, you know, he had to go where he had to go, so I'm like, alright, fine, I guess we'll, you know, just gun it across the street. So, you know, we're driving, and I noticed that, hey, we have to be across the street, I'm still on the sidewalk. And I asked him, like, hey, should we just keep going on the sidewalk, or should we, like, you know, go that way? He's like, nah, go on the sidewalk. We'll go through the trees. We'll have a relaxing ride. I'm like, okay. So we get to a part where I'm like, well, I need to cross the street here. I'm all like, we need to wait for traffic to stop. And we wait a second. A bunch of cars are zooming by. And he's like, you know what? I got this. And without me asking him, he hops out of the car. Because I wasn't going to ask him to do this. He hops out of the car, and then he stands in the middle of the road. And I'm just like, whoa, are you... Like, in my head, I'm like, whoa, are you crazy? He stops traffic. He's like, here, come on. And I get in the middle of the road. I'm like, all right. I'm like, here, hop on the back, and we'll start going. He's like, all right. And I'm like, you weren't afraid to do that? He's like, no. And his words, not mine. And if this video really gets unsent or gets demonetized, I'm gonna appeal this, because these were his words. I'm not gonna make this up. He's all like, man, these motherfuckers will not hit me. My life is worth more than his motherfucking truck. I'm all like, all right. So, you know, we get to, like, the stop sign, and we have to cross the street. Now, we have to wait for, like, you know, the traffic to stop, for the lights to stop the cars, and then we have to wait for the cops to start allowing people into the sidewalk to walk across. So, I'm waiting for, you know, the cops to let us through, and then as soon as the light turns green, he's like, step on it, fucking gas it. I'm like, dude, you are awesome. Like, I wish more alumni players were like you. So, you know, I drop him off, you know, we go across the street. We have to cross, like, 2 streets to get to the Blue Lot 1 across from the stadium. So, you know, I'm in a place I'm not even supposed to be at, technically. Like, I'm not even supposed to be in the street with these carts. But then I see other Levi workers with carts. I'm like, well, if they're here, why can't I be, you know? So, you know, I'm just like, whatever, dude. Screw it. I was told to take this guy wherever he wanted to go. Like, if this dude wanted to go to the gas station up the road 5 minutes, I will take him to the goddamn gas station, because it's what he wants. So, you know, I drop him off at the place, and I'm like, alright, sir, I need to go, can I have your number? You know, I'll call you right now, and when you want me to come pick you up, I'll drop what I'm doing, and I'll come pick you up. And he's all like, alright. He gave me his number, and I still have his number. It's like, I'm not going to do anything with it, but, yeah, I still have this old player's number. He's like, yeah, I call him, I see him pick it up, and I'm like, alright, you have my number. As soon as you want me to come pick you up, instantly call me. Don't even, like, you know, you're not going to be bothering me. I'm here to help you. So, I'm going, I leave him, you know, I drop him off at this book signing place, and I'm like, alright, I need to get back to the stadium. I need to get back to my original post in case they need me there. What did I get? Did I get, oh, I got AAA, damn. So, I drop him off, and I'm like, alright, whatever. Then I get halfway into the thing, and my radio's going off. And it's like, David, or no, it's like, will the young gentleman who was in the cart waiting by the performance center please respond, you know? No one knew who it was me, so I'm all like, it was one of our workers, Al, or at first it was Cameron, and then it was our worker, Al. And then all I hear is Al come on, he's like, yeah, who was the young gentleman who was over here by the performance center? We were talking, he told me the name of one of the persons. I'm like, hi Al, it's David, what's going on? He's all like, where are you? I'm like, I'm in Blue Lot 1 across 2 streets. And, you know, the radio, everyone is on the radio. Everyone could hear what's going on. And apparently my phone was going off, or the radio, the walkie-talkie was going off crazy. I couldn't hear it because where I was at, it was like a bunch of music blasting. It was like a huge party section for tailgating. So I'm like, oh, I can't hear anything. So I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, I'm right across the street. They're like, alright, who are you with? I'm like, oh, I'm with the player Charles Haley. He's like, alright, good. They're looking for you. They're like, where specifically are you? I'm like, well, I'm in Blue Lot 1. They're like, do you guys want me to stay with him or do I come back? They're like, well, what did he tell you to do? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, Mr. Haley asked me if I could come back for him at 11:30. Then my boss hops on the radio, like my actual boss, like for all my work, Ronnie. He hops on the radio and he's like, all right, David, just stay there. There's no point in coming over here just to go back for him. Just stay there and then, you know, see what happens. So I decide, all right, I had to pull a huge U-turn where I'm at. And then, you know, I see it, you know, at first I didn't know what Mr. Haley was going to do there. As soon as I get back, I look for him and I see him signing books. I'm like, all right, whatever. He's good here. Then I call my boss. I'm like, all right, so, you know, I'm telling him the situation. And he's like, do you have Cameron's number? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, give Cameron a call. Ask him what's going on. You know, ask him if this is who you're supposed to be with. And then I'm like, all right, sure. I call Cameron and he's like, yep, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It kind of sucks. Shelby was supposed to tell you to, you know, be with this guy, but I guess she kind of forgot. I'm like, no, it's fine. And then before Cameron hung up, he's like, or before we got off the phone, he's like, real quick, like he asked me, he's like, details, where are you? What are you doing? What's going on? And I told him, we're in Blue Lot 1, 2 streets over, and Mr. Haley's doing a book signing. He's like, book signing? He's supposed to be over here at the community room. I'm like, oh, well, he's doing a book signing here. It's a huge line. And he's like, all right, get to the bottom of it. Ask who put this event on. Was it, you know, ask, was this put on by a fan? Was it put on by friend? Was it put on by family, former player? What's going on? I'm like, all right, I'll ask as soon as I get in touch with Mr. Haley. I don't want to disturb him while he's doing his thing. He's like, all right, yeah, just stick with him. Then he calls me like 5 minutes later, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes later, and he's like, hey, where are you guys? I'm like, we're still over here. Mr. Haley's still doing his thing. And he's like, all right, we need you in the community room ASAP, you know? You know, you guys have to be here. Mr. Haley has to do something over here. I'm like, okay. All right, I'll try to get him to, you know, I'm not going to rush him, but I'll tell him that we have to be somewhere in a few minutes. He's like, all right, the sooner you get here, the better. So I go talk to Mr. Haley because I see the line for his thing died down. It wasn't completely dead, but it kind of stopped for a second. So I talked to him, like, sorry, Mr. Haley, I don't wish to disturb you. I don't really wish to, rush you, but do you know how long this is going to take? He's like, oh, another 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, because my supervisor is asking that you need to be in the community room. And he's like, okay. He's like, yeah, give me another 10 minutes and we'll be gone. I'm like, all right, yeah. And I told him, like, once again, I don't want to rush you. You're doing your thing. I don't want to disturb you, you know. You take your time, you know. And I didn't want to disturb this dude because, like, this whole drive there, he was, like, really cool. I didn't want to mess with this dude's, like, business. And at one point, like, he was joking around, like, we were driving, and, like, the whole time he's telling me, like, hey, step on it, you know, gun it, whatever, no one's gonna happen, you know, like, fuck these people, like, nothing's gonna happen, just gun it. And at one point, he rests his head on my right shoulder, because I'm driving the car, and he's like, you know what, you're, like, my best friend. I'm like, you know, I'm pretty sure he was joking, but I'm like, hey, that kind of lifted my spirits up, it's kind of cool. So, you know, I decided to hang out behind the tent where he was signing his books, like, not to, like, eavesdrop on him or anything, but just because there was shade there. I'm like, I don't really want to disturb him, I don't want to seem weird, but I'm just going to hang out behind a tent, like, you know, maybe 2 feet away from where he's sitting, just so I could, like, you know, stay in the shade, because I'm not trying to be in the heat. You know, then he finally gets up, he's like, alright, you ready to go? I'm like, yep, let's get going. And the first thing I asked him, I'm like, so, or he talks about another player, and once again, his words, not mine, he's like, you know what? When I used to play, I forgot what the name of the other player was. It's a famous Cowboys player. He's like, I remember this player was such a greedy fucking asshole. It was all about him. But now that he has, like, I think he said cancer. So whichever Dallas Cowboy player has cancer, he's all like, oh, you know, now that he has cancer, he's all about peace and love and friendship. Back when we were playing, he didn't care about anyone but himself. Like, and he's like, fucking asshole. So I'm like, that's unfortunate to hear, but that seems about right, you know. People are assholes, and then something major happens to them, and they want to change. He's like, yeah, you get it. Then he's all, I ask him, like, so, was this put on by a friend or family, or what's going on? He's like, nope. They signed me, you know, they booked me. Wherever the money is, that's where I'll go. And then he pulls out this big-ass wad of cash, and he gives me, like, $20 tip. He's like, you know what? For doing everything you've been doing today, here, that's not even going to affect me at all. I'm like, you know, I'm not going to, you know, I'm not supposed to accept tips, but, like, it's kind of rude for this guy, like, you know, we've been hella cool, and then for me to be like, I can't, you know, I told him, like, I'm not supposed to. He's like, alright, fine, you're not taking it, I'm just putting this in your vest, and he just puts it in my vest. I'm like, okay, sir, you know, and then we're driving, and then we have to wait for, a car to turn, because, you know, we were going to turn right to take a shortcut to get back to Levi. He's like, you know what, we go right earlier, take a left, you know, we'll go the longer route. I'm like, all right, sir, whatever you say, you know, you're in charge. And then, he instantly, like, we get to the stoplight, and we gotta wait for cars once again. And then he's like, you know what, fuck these cars, gun it. They're not gonna hit us, you know it too. I'm like, sir, I want to believe you. I really want to believe they're not gonna hit us, but I know fucking drivers out here in the Bay Area, they're gonna fucking hit us. He's like, no, they fucking won't. Do it. I'd love to see a motherfucker hit me. I'm like, fine, fuck it. So I see a Honda drive by, and then I instantly jump into the street so he could drive. And then, you know, once again, my radio starts blowing up all of a sudden, too. And then, you know, they're like, David, where are you? I'm like, we're heading to the community center. He's like, okay, you know, I forgot who contacted me, but they're like, David, where are you? I'm like, oh, we're on our way. They're like, all right, meet us at the community center. It's by the radio room. I'm like, all right, go ahead, sure. And I ask him if he enjoyed playing football. He tells me his life story. He's like, yeah, you know, I basically built my parents a house with this money, you know. They don't have to work. All my dad does is farm work on where they live. Other than that, all they have to pay is their cable and their electricity, which is dirt cheap. It's built on like a water well. You know, they have a whole water reserve. They don't really have to do much. So, you know, we're doing that, and we're just talking. We get closer to the stadium, and I try to take a shortcut, which apparently is now all blocked off with, they have bollards now at Levi Stadium, which is random, because at the Coldplay concert, they didn't have bollards blocking off the entrances. But now they do. I made it through, and this woman walks right in front of us, and he's like, oh, like, his words once again, oh, shit, that's a woman? I thought that was a man. And me joking around, because, like I said, this guy's been talking, like, hella cool. He talks like how I talk. And I'm like, oh yeah, welcome to California. There's a bunch of them like that around here. And he starts dying of laughter. Let's see. We're getting closer to where he has to be at the community center. And geez, it's going to be a long video, but screw it. I want this video to be long. This was actually a cool day. So we get to the community room. And we're literally around the corner. And then my radio starts going off because of one of my supervisors, Harold. He's like, David, where are you? David, where are you? I'm like, right around the corner, you know. The whole time, like, I've been on the cart with Mr. Haley, they've been asking me where I'm at, and I keep responding. I'm like, oh, we're, you know, on our way right now. So we get right around the corner. I'm like, you know, Harold's like, David, where are you? I'm like, oh, we're right around the corner. And he's like, all right. And, you know, Mr. Haley's like, man, you better get on the radio and tell them that if they fucking call you one more time, I will smack the fuck out of them personally. I start laughing. And he's like, no, seriously, do it. Get on the radio right now. I'm like, sir, I can't, unfortunately. That's career suicide right there. Then he grabs the little microphone part for my headset. He's like, how do I make this motherfucker work? And then, thankfully, right on time, we get exactly to the community room. I'm like, we're here, sir. You know, he's like, all right, thank you so much for everything you've done, seriously. And then he, like, winks. He's like, take care of what I gave you. Winks, and then, you know, shakes my hand and gets off. And I'm like, dude, this was, like, the coolest player ever. Then from here, you know, it's like we did our work. We basically sat around on carts for like a few minutes while they while the people who do the flag for the stadium, they do their thing. Then as everything's cleared, our boss is like, hey, go to lunch. We ended up finding a cool place to eat inside the stadium. Not gonna give too much details, but it was just really awesome, really good food. Then nothing else happens for a while. We're told, hey, after you're done eating, your carts are going to be moved to a new area. Just walk straight over there after you're done, and, you know, just wait around until Carrie and Shelby come by and they'll tell you what to do. So I'm like, alright, I'm reporting back to the people I'm originally supposed to report to anyways. Fuck it. Whatever. And we're seeing an influx of drunk people walking by, because, like, cops are just, you know, security and cops are just picking up drunk people left and right. So one guy walks by, or a little backstory on one of our workers. His name is Javi. He's Jesus' cousin, and I've talked about Jesus before. I actually have a video I shot with Jesus. I haven't edited it yet, but it'll be edited and put up pretty soon. I want to say later this week I'll have that video up with Jesus. But yeah, you know, Javi is Jesus' cousin, and Javi's really cool. And Javi just likes to joke around and play around, and he likes to sing randomly too. So Javi just randomly starts singing Bon Jovi. He's like, oh, we're halfway there. And just as soon as he starts singing, a drunk person is being escorted by police, and the drunk dude could barely walk. He's being held up by the police, and his head is slumped. So Javi starts saying, "Oh, we're halfway there." And as soon as he gets to that, the drunk person is right next to him, being escorted. All you see is this drunk dude snap his head up as if he was like a snake about to bite Javi. You just see him snap his head up to Javi and just yell out hella loud, "Shut the fuck up, puto!" like to Javi. And this dude is gone drunk. And me, not giving a fuck. Because like I'm saying, this guy was being escorted by security and police. Like actual police. I start fucking dying of laughter. Like, I bust out laughing. I don't even care, honestly. Let this dude be mad at me. You know, I start laughing instantly. Everyone turns around at me to see what the hell I'm laughing about. And I'm staring this dude. And I see the drunk dude try to turn his head to me, but, you know, too drunk, he can't even find me. He just hears my laughter. And, you know, the security guards don't hold up. Like, they just keep taking him. And, you know, as soon as he was put in the room, everyone else starts laughing. I'm still dying of laughter. Like, I don't know why, but that just was hilarious to me. And then Javi was saying that supposedly after the dude yelled, "Shut the fuck up, puto," hella loud, under his breath, he heard him say, "I'll fucking kick your ass," or "I'll beat your ass," or something like that. I'm just like, damn, that drunk dude, if it came down to it, Javi could have just pushed the dude over and ended the fight right then and there. But it's just hilarious, like, you know, Javi wasn't, maybe he was doing it for him, I don't know. But I saw Javi singing even before he even noticed the drunk dude. Just singing, and just this drunk dude just getting so offended, just yelling, "Shut the fuck up, puto," to him, like, hella loud. I'm just like, bruh. Javi, you need to stop. Like, you're pissing off drunk people. Then, you know, more drunk people come, more people in fights. I had to move a cart, and there was a drunk dude on the back of a cart with security. And no one is talking to this guy. No one's saying anything. It's a different drunk dude, too. All you hear is this guy just yelling, "Shut the fuck up, you fucking asshole. I'll fucking kick all your asses." Like, no one's talking to him. Everyone's talking to themselves, having their own conversation. And, like, you know, I wait for this car to pass, and I'm like, alright, I need to move my cart over to a different area, you know, where it's closer to where we're going to be working. It was, like, literally in a different hallway. Like, I just had to move maybe, like, 10 feet, but I just needed to be an easier access when I had to drive someone. And, I turned the cart around, and one of the band members for the 49ers just sees me. He's like, "Oh my god, your hair is beautiful." I'm like, "Okay, thanks." Like, hella random. Let's see. Then after that, nothing else happened. You know, work was fine. You know, everything was fine. It's just, I got to meet Charles Haley of the Cowboys, and I'm not sure if it's really Mr. Charles Haley. Let me see. Is my tablet with me? Let me check real quick. Sorry. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the video. I've been trying to, you know, I've been having fun with this game. Fun fact, when my car died on me last Tuesday, this is actually the game I was playing. As I waited for the tow truck to come, I was just playing this game. But let me see. Tablet's acting slow. It's not funny. It seems like it's gonna fucking die on me. Yeah, Charles Haley with the Cowboys. Yup. This is exactly here. And he was signing his new book, Fear No Evil. Let me see. His book is actually here on Google if you look him up. Charles Haley, Fear No Evil, tackling quarterbacks and demons on my way to the Hall of Fame. So, 5 Super Bowl rings. Goddamn, this dude is a legend. And, you know, he was just super cool. If I ever saw him again, I would honestly, like, tell him, like, "Sir, I'm not sure if you remember me or if you even care at all. I'm David. I'm the one who drove you around when you were at Levi Stadium on X date. I just gotta say, you were the coolest alumni player I've ever met." You know, like, for real. Most alumni players are, like, super, I don't want to say uptight in a bad way, but they're, like, they care. I'm not saying Mr. Haley doesn't care about his image, but, like, they just don't talk. They're, like, super quiet. They're super careful with what they say. Once again, Charles Haley stood in the middle of a street. Well, like, no cars were there yet. He was standing there to stop traffic. Stood in the middle of the street, and then when I asked him if he was afraid, with fucking the hugest balls, just said, "These motherfuckers would not hit me. My motherfucking life is more than his truck." That is, like, coolest person I've ever met, that he gave no fucks at all. Like, this guy did not care what happened. Like, you know, he's already built his family a great house. He's already built himself a great amount of money, built himself a great career. Even, like, sad to say, even if he were to die right now, his family would pretty much still be set for life. That's how great this guy has done in life. And it's just like, you know, during his story, he even told me, is like, man, I came from nothing, you know, father working all the time to help make ends meet. You know, he saw me his life, and, you know, it's like pretty much a basic life. And, you know, like, when it comes to, like, I don't want to say sob stories in a bad way, but when it comes to, like, sad stories, his story was pretty basic. Like, you know, came from nothing, made something of himself, and helped out his family. And that's great. And seriously, this will probably be the game I remember the most, too. Because it's just this interaction alone with Mr. Haley, talking with him, having a one-on-one conversation with pretty much a legend. I'm like, dude, this guy is the coolest guy I've ever met. And I've met a lot of, you know, famous people. I've met Shaq. I've met Papa John. I've met Guy Fieri. I've met a bunch of bands I like. I've met Hollywood Undead, Attila, Ice Nine Kills. I've met all these cool people. But just having this interaction with Mr. Haley is, like, easily the coolest thing I've ever had. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the story. Like I was saying, big point of the day was hanging out, talking, and just getting to be around Mr. Haley. And then seeing Javi piss off a drunk dude just by singing a song. So, yeah, guys. Pretty much a 30-minute video. I will see you guys later today with an episode. Ugh, I just held a bit my lip. Really, David? Wow, are you special ed? I will see you guys with another episode of Kirby's Epic Yarn for family bonding. Until then, have an awesome time. I'll see you later today. Bye.